Hey guys, this is Chase, that guy with the gloves, and today I'm going to do a review on the Marvel Legends Ant-Man series, The Wasp. Now, you guys saw my good buddy Captain McKay, he already got his review up before me. That slippery codfish. Well, we're going to up the ante here just a little bit. So you see, we're going to do a review on this brand new Wasp figure, and buzz. We are also going to do a review on the Toybiz Wasp. In fact, we're actually going to do a little bit of a comparison video, so it's actually a 3-for-1 video. We have 2 reviews and 1 comparison. Take that, Captain. Actually, don't take it because we like you. You're an awesome person. We just, want to make a video ourselves just to give our own opinion on this figure and this one here as well. But anyway, that's the point. All right, so let's crack open this wasp's nest and find out what the buzz is about this figure. And here we have our dueling Wasp figures. I have to say, I do really love this Hasbro's figure. It is amazing. I'm gonna get into all the details on that, but first, let's get this out of the way. The new Wasp comes with this Ultron Build-A-Figure piece. It's got a shiny metallic silver on the front. In fact, it's got 2 different tones on here. You see, it's got the shiny stuff on here, and then down here it has a really flat kind of gray. It still has a bit of a metallic look to it, but it doesn't match with the front of it. And I've seen a lot of videos where people saying it's just production quality and stuff like that. The red looks nice though. No gray showing through. There's some chipping in there. Nothing too bad. I'm not too impressed with the overall Ultron Build-A-Figure, so I'm going to probably just sell this piece. And hopefully Hasbro will release a movie Marvel Select figure based on that Ultron, because I do like the design of it. Except for the lips. Alright, so let's get into our Wasp figures here. So the first one we're going to do is the Toybiz Wasp, seeing as how she came out first. Now, I'm not certain what her accessory is, so I will put it in my little notes at the bottom. As far as I know, she probably just came with a Build-A-Figure piece as well. None of them came with these flight stands. They're just ones I got from my SH Figure Arts and my other import figures. Now, she's got, I think, a little bit more articulation than the new Wasp, except for in the wings.
And let's get a good look at this face sculpt.
She's got a short pixie cut. I don't know if she ever had this in the comics. But I do like it. I like that. I like the brown tone of it, and it's got like some little washes and stuff like that in there. And I do really love the way this face looks. It's a very pretty face. The eyebrows look great. The makeup looks good. The lips look really good too. The one thing I'd say that does kind of bug me about the overall mold of the figure is that she's a little too tall. I always imagined Wasp being smaller. With that being said, I still really like it. I do like a lot of the articulation that goes into her, but we'll get into that in a second. I'm actually having a hard time lining up these yellow pieces on her. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, she has this yellow design on the front of her. And the paintwork on it is just not really the best. There's some parts that are missing and some parts that are out of proportion. This doesn't really look like a yellow or gold like how the Wasp has. This actually looks more like a neon green. And again, of all the various versions of the Wasp that I've seen, I have never seen that on her. And she's got some more on the under part of her hands. I do like it though. I think it is really interesting looking. It just doesn't look like a bee. The bottom of her shoes are kind of like a high heel thing with some support, and the bottom has the green paint there as well. Her wings are pretty cool. They're translucent plastic, and they're almost like a flesh tone. It looks really interesting. And it's got all the veins or the texture work. Not really certain what that's called on a bee or a wasp, but it looks really cool. Like there's this one kind of look to it here where you can really see it, but then when you get up close, you'll see there's still even a lot more detail. Looks really neat. Articulation on the Toybiz Wasp is pretty good. Her head looks up all the way. That's amazing. Her neck's a little too long. That's probably another gripe I would have about her. She can look side to side. She Got some good bobbin action. She's got diaphragm joint that doesn't really ab crunch, just kind of rotates and lets you swivel a little bit. And then she also has waist articulation, so this is just a little hard to work with. Her shoulders could rotate all the way around if you want them to. She has an upper bicep rotation. She has double bend in the elbow. That's really nice. Now she has no wrist rotation. Her hands can pivot back and forth though. Her legs aren't that T-joint that we're used to with the Marvel Hasbros. I think these were called like Y joints, or they're just simple ball joints. But pretty good articulation on them. I don't have the same normal trouble that I do with these kind of joints, where it's just hard to rotate that ball and move it around. So yeah, great articulation. Her legs go out that way, and go out that far, and they can go back. And she does have an upper thigh rotation. She has a double bend in the knee. She has upper calf rotation, no ankle rock, but her foot can go forward and it could go backwards. So yeah, a pretty good figure. If they were never going to release this Wasp figure, I would say to pick this one up. I probably would have made my own custom of her eventually, using this face, the hands maybe, and the wings. The only other thing about the wings, articulation-wise, a couple things I should go over before I forget them. She's got a peg hole in the back there, so like if you're using these flight stands here, you can just kind of pop that in there. Except this one doesn't really hold on to her very well. But you could probably use one of the standard Marvel Legends flight stands if you can find one from the Toybiz era. And the wings can't move outward; they can only go up and down. But they are individually attached on there, so you know each part of the upper and lower wing can move on its own, and you can pull them together for a neutral pose. Okay, so now it's time to get into our new Wasp figure. I know her first name is Janet. For some reason, I cannot think of her last name. I know when she marries Hank Pym, she kind of takes on his name, so then she's Janet Pym. But I can't remember what her normal last name was, so forgive me on that. So that's why I'm not calling her Janet, I'm just calling her Wasp. Now, I really like this face. The skin tone is great, the eyes look really cool. This, when I picture the Wasp in an action figure form, this is really what I picture. The hair, same kind of pixie cut, but different lengths and different style than what we got on the Toybiz figure. And it's got a lot heavier wash detail in there, and I think that is really great. There we go. Yeah, just there's a lot of black in there mixed in with the brown. Just a lot of nice detail. Now the front of her Wasp uniform is a lot cleaner than the one presented on the Toybiz figure. You can actually see a lot more of the detail. Those little like kind of wasp antenna things on the top of her bosom looks really good. Also, the paintwork's just, you know, super clean and nice. Even though it is kind of a different tone here. This, you know, you can definitely tell these are two different shades of gold. Her hands look really cool, though. That like black line that cuts through it is just some nice added detail to it. And the bottom of her boots are a flat, no heel, and they have a gold trim on there. I like that. It served better purposes for animating, and it's probably a lot more functional than having a heel. So we gotta talk about these wings. These wings are really, really cool looking. They used a little bit more of a translucent plastic versus the Toybiz one. So you do lose a little bit of detail, but it's not really all that bad. You do have that one cool looking texture to it, and it does have like some kind of like folds and stuff into it. It just doesn't have the level of detail of what the Toybiz figure had. And it is separate pieces here, so these ones are removable from the start. They're actually in a separate part of the package. So you pull them out, and she's got these little peg holes in the back there. So you can have Wasp walking around without her wings. And they are separate pieces, so you know the bottom and the top part of the wings can move on their own. And they just pop out like that. Bottom wing goes into the top, like so. This wing, the top wing, also has a hinge. So when you stick this back into the peg here, you have a range of motion that the other Wasp figure does not have. So you can get a lot more poses with it. I really like that. I actually thought it would be kind of cool to make a Tinkerbell figure out of a Wasp, out of one of these new Wasp figures. I like Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell's pretty cool. She's kind of a bitch, but you know, that's what I like about her. She don't take no shit from Peter Pan. So yeah, you get a lot cooler poses with this Wasp, especially with those wings. So I guess now is the most appropriate time to talk about articulation. The new Wasp, her head can go 360, can look up pretty far, same amount as the Toybiz Wasp. You know, gets good rocking action, can look down pretty far too. Look down about that much. I don't know if I talked about it with the Toybiz figure, so I'll go into it. Her head can look down about that much. We'll set her back up over there. And now she's got a diaphragm joint, so she can rotate and she can rock back, or she can do a kind of an ab crunch pretty good, and it can go back for just a little bit. No waist articulation though, but I'm not really missing it. Her arms can rotate 360 and go in and out. No bicep swivels, or upper bicep swivel. She does have a swivel in the elbow, and they are not double jointed, they're single jointed, but it's pretty good. No complaints there. Her hand can rotate all the way around, and it can also pivot. So a little more added articulation there. She's got the Marvel Legends T-joint here, so her legs can go out that far, to the side, about that far, not as much as the Toybiz Wasp. Upper hip rotation, double bend in the knee, no calf rotation. Her legs, or her foot, can go forward and backwards, and she's got the standard Marvel Legends ankle pivot, which is of high caliber. Now, as it stands, I really do like both of these Wasp figures. I bought her back in 2012 when we really weren't getting a whole lot of good Marvel Legends female figures. Like, Marvel Legends had just returned that year, so they were kind of not hitting their stride just yet. So at the time, this really was one of my favorite Marvel Legends female figures. I do like the amount of articulation that she has. I just kind of wish that joint in the middle wasn't so kind of cumbersome to move around. The wings, I kind of wish they could go back instead of just up and down. And the face just doesn't say Janet to me. And I also thought she was just a little too tall and her limbs were a little too lanky. But and the paint work's kind of hit and miss. But even though that's not gold, I think that neon kind of greenish yellow looks really cool on her. I love the detail in the wings on the Toybiz Wasp, and you know, the face, even though that doesn't say Janet to me, I do like it. I think it's a really attractive face. The Hasbro Ant-Man series Marvel Legend, the Wasp, it's amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah, you lose a little bit of detail compared to this one, but the overall sculpting of the wings and the shape and how big they are, the fact that you can detach them. Yeah, I was just testing out a theory there real quick. Sorry about that. I was trying to see if I could pull these ones off easily, and I couldn't. I don't know if it's because I'm not pulling it hard enough, but I don't want to break the figure. But the fact that this one can detach its wings fairly easily, and you can put them back on really easily. The cleanness of the paint, the fact that this actually looks like a woman's sculpt. I really love what Hasbro is doing with their female figures in the last year. They really stepped up their game on it. The paint works a lot cleaner, and the face just says Janet. It just says the Wasp to me. So if we're going to give them a star rating, I would have to give this Wasp 3 stars out of 5. You know, just a couple of negatives about it that really drove the score down, but for what it was, I think it's a really great figure. This Wasp, however, I have to give her a really good score. So she's going to get 4.5 out of 5. She would have been a perfect 10 if, I don't know, maybe if she could have came with some energy blast or something like that. The Ultron Build-A-Figure piece, not her fault because they're all going to get grouped in with these now. Not a fan of it. Sculpting on it's nice, but not a fan of the paint work. And I'm more or less looking forward to, hopefully, a Marvel Select version of that Ultron. So, if you guys are looking for this Wasp here, I found her at Toys R Us for $19.99. That's where I hear a lot of people are finding her. You can probably check out, you know, your Targets, your Walmarts and stuff like that. You can look online and find her too. I would highly recommend her. And for Marvel Legend collectors, I would still recommend this Wasp. The face is beautiful. The detail on the wings, they're amazing. I'm going to keep this figure. but this is going to be the one. This is like my definitive Wasp right here. So this was Chase from Burnout Inc. Captain, you beat me to this figure. I loved your review. Just wanted to throw mine up there right after yours. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm on Instagram, BurnoutInc, BPW, Twitch, same handle. You can find me on the Wrestling Amino app, BurnoutInc, and you can reach me at thatguywiththegloves@gmail.com. See you next time.